My name is Anthony, and today we're going to talk about the truth about golf shaft technology. Can shaft technology really make a difference, or is it all just a hidden scam? I'm here with six-time world champion and golf's #1 designer, Jack the Hammer Hamm. Now, most people know you as the only human alive to average 400 yards off the tee, and you've been on TV with your hammer driver for 20 plus years. You've been all over the world doing golf exhibitions. You've been in front of crowds of people of 50,000 plus, demoing your clubs. Now, kings, queens, golf pros, and well-known celebrities all use your technology. You have 6 world records, including a 473-yard drive. You also have a master's degree in engineering, so you have a knack for analyzing and figuring out what really works in golf. Now, I can go on and on. Your success is unprecedented, but let's talk golf shafts today, okay? Think of your golf club right now. I can bet you have a round shaft in there. Out of all the golf technology over the years, one thing hasn't changed, and it's your golf shaft. They're all round. But there's one little problem with having a round shaft that nobody talks about, and that little problem is causing you to constantly spray the ball left and right, and you can never keep it in the fairway, and you also lose a whole lot of distance with that round shaft. Until today. Jack, what's the truth about these round shafts, and are they a big problem?
Well, Anthony, I appreciate that introduction, and I will tell you that one of the things I'm most excited about, in designing golf clubs, is this new shaft, this new first ever flat shaft. I mean, I call it the X shaft, but it's the first ever flat shaft. And what you said is very true. 70% of the performance of any golf club is the golf shaft. The shaft is very important in terms of the way you hit the golf ball. Quite frankly, the golf shafts that have been out there, the round shafts, and let's say that 99.9% of all golf clubs that are out there have a round shaft in them. And to be honest with you, there's no technology to them, and there's no, they're basically junk, okay? They're basically all the same. These shafts, these round shafts are all made like you're popping popcorn on a popcorn machine. There's nothing, nothing to these shafts. They're basically like $3, and they charge, $500. Callaway and TaylorMade literally, produce golf clubs that are $500 with $3 round shafts. Golfers out there are struggling. They buy a new driver every year or a new set of irons or whatever, and they're still going to have the same kind of problems. They can't hit it straight. They spray the ball. They slice the ball. And there's a lot of reasons why these round shafts don't work. And in fact, Anthony, you would see that the pros, on the tour that are paid by these big companies literally do not use round graphite shafts. Okay, you look at their drivers, most of them have a steel shaft in their heads. And so, I mean, it's because none of these graphite shafts actually work. So, there's reasons behind that. We can get into that. But the bottom line is this new flat shaft is the most exciting thing ever, in the last 100 years in golf. This is the biggest breakthrough in golf in the last 100 years, the new, first ever flat shaft.
So what are some of the problems that these these round shafts are causing for people? What is it doing to their game? Are they...
Basically, we'll take a look at what the flat shaft does for every golfer, okay? Mm-hmm. But the issue here on the graphite shafts, the existing round shafts, okay, they don't have any torque properties. So in other words, they twist, left and right, and that's why you spray the ball, and you hook the ball and you slice the ball, okay? That's where slicing comes from. It's because the shafts, basically don't have the right torque properties to hold it straight. And again, that's why the pros don't use, these traditional round shafts. You'll see that these leading companies, Callaway and TaylorMade, a lot of the pros are using metal shafts. They're not even using what they're selling you. Okay? The bottom line is the round shafts, they don't have the right properties in terms of, the way to, actually hit a golf ball. So that's the real problem. Okay? And they make these things like it's a popcorn machine. They spit them out like it's a popcorn. There's no technology to these shafts.
So why up until now has nobody been able to come up with this? And are you the only person who has this flat shaft?
Well, Anthony, I'm really excited, that this all new first flat shaft, okay, and it's patented, okay. Is literally the first ever flat shaft, okay. And this thing is, works for drivers, it works for hybrids, and we even have flat shafts in iron sets. So it's available for all clubs, And what's really cool about it, anybody that's got one of these Callaway and TaylorMade drivers out there, or all the other traditional clubs, they can all reshaft their clubs now with a flat shaft. I mean, we're going to actually sell this shaft, direct to the golfers and help everybody. I mean, literally, we're going to take this golf technology to a whole new level with this flat shaft. I mean, this flat shaft, Anthony, does 3 things for you, or 4 things. I mean, it does a lot, okay? But the first thing, if you take a look at it, okay, just look at a flat shaft, okay? You actually look at the picture of it, all right? And it makes a lot of sense. It's literally aerodynamics built right into the club. Literally, you look at it, it's fast. It's speed in a shaft, okay? Secondly, I mean, you understand that, the flat, it's like a sword. So it cuts through the air like a knife, all right? Secondly, all right, what the shaft does and why it has a tremendous advantage over a round shaft is it has 0 torque. You see, like I was talking to you about round shafts where they twist left and right. The flat shaft, okay, is built where it actually has 0 torque, which means it doesn't, twist. It doesn't twist left. It doesn't twist right. Okay, you're going to get rid of your splice. You're going to hit it. You're going to get rid of your hook. You're going to hit it dead straight. I mean, this is the only shaft, okay, that has these kind of properties. These expensive shafts, these $3 shafts that they put in all these clubs, they twist everywhere, okay? And, I mean, this thing is absolutely going to help you hit the ball dead straight. And the third thing that this thing does is that, it actually tracks the head right into the ball, okay? Because of its flat edge, you can literally close your eyes and hit the ball with this thing. I mean, it literally tracks the head like a heat-sinking missile right into the ball. I mean, it's just amazing. So, if you make a bad swing, I can't guarantee you're going to hit the ball great, but, I mean, if you take a decent swing at it, the flat shaft is really going to help you.
Well, I can attest to that, close your eyes. I like to try everything out that I hear. On the range the other day, I actually closed my eyes with the flat shaft, just as a little, just for fun, and I did hit the ball, and when I looked up, it was dead straight. So that's very true. You can close your eyes and hit it with this flat shaft. But let me ask you, you are the only human alive to average 400 yards off a tee. So has it always been about muscle? Has it been about how much you can bench press? Are you using a 75-inch shaft, or what is it? Is the shaft have a lot to do with it? Are you using a standard length? Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, that's a good question, Anthony. I'm actually, 6'4", about 185 pounds. I've always used a traditional length club, 45 inches. So my club head speed comes from, my technique. I have an incredible technique that allows me to, hit the ball 400 yards. But I can tell you this much. This flat X shaft is the only shaft that will go 400 yards every time for me, okay? If I was to go and take one of these traditional clubs, Callaway or TaylorMade, I would instantly lose 50 yards right off the bat, with these round shafts. I mean, they're absolutely no technology. That's what they are. 0 technology. That's what I call it. I mean, and the thing is that you can't get this flat shaft from anybody but us. Okay, this flat shaft is one of a kind, and I mean, I have a patent on it, and it just feels great. I mean, and there's other things to this flat shaft. I mean, it's got a kick on it that feels like a slingshot. I mean, not only does this shaft have speed in the shaft where it's faster, but you can actually feel this thing release like a slingshot. I mean, it just frickin' launches the ball higher than anything you've ever seen in your life.
Well, I know you said you had a patent on this, and I know you've sold millions of drivers over the years and millions of golf clubs. How many people would you say are using this flat shaft right now, so far?
Well, we've had it out there, for about a year or two, but we've got a new release of this thing. We've made a few changes to it. And one of the things that we've really incorporated into this flat shaft, Anthony, that I'm really excited about, remember, it does 3 things for you. It's faster through the air.
Yeah.
It's 0 torque, so it's dead straight. And it tracks itself right into the ball. But the other really cool thing, and this is like the coolest shaft ever, and is that it actually has what I call the smart shaft properties, okay? And what I mean by that is, traditionally when you order a club from anybody, these traditional clubs, you have to get a women's flex, you got to get a senior flex, you got to get a medium flex. They got all these flexes. This is what's so cool about the new flat X shaft. It actually is called Smart Shaft Technology, all right? It has 3 kick points, low, medium, and high, okay? So one shaft fits everybody. So what it does, in technical terms, it senses the load that you put on the shaft automatically. So like for a senior or woman, it would kick low. For somebody that's hitting the ball like I hit it 400 yards, okay, it's going to kick high, all right? It actually senses that speed, senses your club head speed, and adjusts itself where it's going to kick. And so, it's one shaft that flexes for everyone. It's totally amazing, smart shaft technology. And, you're still going to get the slingshot effect. I mean, once you put this, you initiate the smart shaft flex, this thing responds like a slingshot into the ball. I mean, you can literally feel it. I mean, it's amazing. I call this, Anthony, the flat shaft phenomena. Like, again, this is the greatest breakthrough in golf in 100 years, and it truly is, because this basically revolutionizes everybody's golf game, from the irons to the hybrids to the driver, okay? I mean, literally, this thing is going to change, the way people hit a golf ball. And, you can reshaft any driver that you have, and I do offer, drivers. I saw a club called the Hammer, 400 XL with the flat shaft, which is also an innovative, head design, see-through head. It's got a lot of bells and whistles that help you, again, get an extra 20, 30 yards. But this, literally, the shaft, again, always remember this, Anthony, the shaft is 70% performance of any golf club. The shaft is so important, yet these other companies, Callaway, TaylorMade, and all these other traditional companies, they spend literally nothing on their technology. I mean, they put a new paint job on this thing, and, it's a $3 golf shaft. It's basically a junk shaft that they put in these expensive clubs, and then they expect you to buy another one year after year after year. So, this is real technology. This is, this X shaft, this flat shaft is so much fun to use. Who should have one of these flat shafts? Every golfer out there that has a traditional head should reshaft their clubs with the new flat X shaft.
Well, now one thing I wanted to ask you about, these traditional round $3 shafts, you say they pop them out like popcorn. They make them in seconds. How long now does it take for a shaft like yours, the flat shaft? How long does that take to make?
Well, Anthony, that's a good question. And just to give you the idea of the technology behind this shaft, okay? One shaft, whether I buy one or I buy 5,000, okay, takes 60 days. Okay, it's a process, okay? I mean, this thing is a process. And when I said, these round shafts are made like a popcorn machine where they pop them, left and right, you've all been to the movies. I mean, that's basically how they make this, it's just spun wound technology. It's nothing technology is what it is, okay? This flat X shaft is a molded, technology where it's a 24 cavity mold, and it's actually manufactured at a tennis facility where they make tennis rackets, okay? So it's made just like a tennis racket, all right? So they're made one at a time in a 24 cavity mold, and they have to do a whole bunch of, things to these shafts to, shape them the way they are. But literally, it's a flat X shaft. I mean, it's speed and shaft. So, but it's real technology, not popcorn technology.
Well, it just makes sense. I mean, think of it. When you're driving on the highway and you stick your hand out the window and you have your hand flat out or even in a fist, there's a ton of drag. Your hand gets flown right back. You open your fingers up or you turn it on the side like a wing, flat like a knife. Well, there's no drag and you're going through the air a lot faster. Is that kind of the idea with the shaft? Tell me the story. How did you actually come up with the flat shaft? What made you come up with it?
With your example, to be honest with you, it would kind of be like if you did stick your hand out the car window. Let's just say you stuck your hand out the car window with your cup face and then turn your hand sideways. That's kind of basically the aerodynamics of a shaft. I mean, it's aerodynamics, technology. I mean, look at it. Okay, it's flat. Okay, it's flat like a sword. It cuts through the air like a knife. I mean, anytime you've ever taken a sword and swung it, You can feel the aerodynamics of a sword.
Yeah.
Same thing with a shaft. You can literally feel this thing. You can hear it cutting through the air. To be honest with you, it kind of goes whoosh when you swing it. I mean, it's so cool, okay, because of that speed, okay? But that's only one factor in this thing. And so, I mean, it's real. Let me put it this way. If these leading companies like Callaway, TaylorMade, and all the rest of them had anything close to this technology, they would charge you $1,000 a shaft.
Right.
But they don't, okay? This thing's patented. Nobody has this technology but, us. And this is real. And this is going to help every golfer. Whether you buy our Hammer X driver, with this brand new flat shaft with all the bells and whistles in the head, or if you have one of these junk clubs from Callaway and TaylorMade, all right, with these round shafts with zero technology, you can reshaft your clubs now with this new flat shaft. I mean, let me put it this way, Anthony. These iron shafts, I have flat iron shafts. There's never been a shaft like this in iron as well. I mean, this thing, it gets the ball up like you can't. It's 30 yards built right into the iron. Okay.
Right.
I mean, you can literally reshaft your iron and put this shaft in your irons. Okay, and they're dead straight. They don't move left. They don't move right. I mean, they basically track the pin when you're using these iron shafts. So, drivers, it's exciting. I mean, it's the only shaft that goes 400 yards. So anybody that's got one of these clubs can now add an easy 30 yards to their swing just by reshafting, to this new flat X shaft. So it's that simple.
Well, I can attest to that. The first shaft I ever reshafted was my 6-iron. And I took the 6-iron out to the course, to the range the first day. And I hit it a certain length. I normally hit it about 210, 215 yards for my 6-iron. And I'm like, all right, I'm not expecting much. It looks cool, but I want to see if it actually performs with this new flat shaft I have in it. My first swing, I look up, it's straight as an arrow. I didn't even feel I swung good at it. I felt like I might have sliced it. But because of the shaft, it cut straight. It was dead straight, and I was about 250 yards with my 6-iron. So that was all due to the shaft. I didn't change the head. I didn't change anything. The shaft alone, because it made it go higher. I noticed that it made it go higher, and it was just a straighter ball flight regardless, even if my swing wasn't perfect. And I did it a few more times just to confirm that it was the shaft. And yeah, they all went consistently 250 yards, so about another 30 yards extra on my irons just from installing this shaft. Now, I wanted to ask you, Jack, do the pros use this club? If so, why or why not?
Well, they can, but you have to buy the pros. Okay, I mean, you have to understand that anything you see on TV, these guys have paid $5-10 million to carry a Callaway club or TaylorMade club or whatever. Even the 200th money winner on the tour is paid, to carry these clubs, and
right.
They don't really use them. I mean, there's nobody using. Like I said, they're not using graphite shafts. I mean, they're using these steel shafts because steel has a torque property close to my shaft where it doesn't twist left to right. All right, so it's going to help you hit the ball straighter. So, the thing is that this shaft is something that will help every golfer automatically. Help you hit it longer and help you hit it straighter. And that's what it's all about. I mean, this is going to save, the guy maybe 10, 15 strokes around. I mean, he's going to hit the ball 30 yards farther. I mean, he can now take his $500 driver and reshaft it with this, great new, flat shaft, and he'll have a real club at least. I mean, I'd really recommend him getting the flat shaft and getting the new Hammer 400 XL driver head as well, because that's, is superior technology as well. But there's golfers out there that want to stick with their, junk heads, and they can now at least put a decent shaft in the club, and, they can actually, improve their golf game just by reshafting.
Right.
So, I mean, the shaft is that important. But remember, not only is this thing faster and it's dead straight, but it's smart shaft technology. You no longer have to, pick out whether you need a senior, a women's, or, a pro kick. I can tell you this much, Anthony. Over the course of the last year, of all the shafts that we've sold with this new flat shaft, I haven't had one golfer complain about his flex property. Okay, and you have to understand there's two properties in a shaft. There's torque, which means it twists left and right, okay? And then it's the flex. And I haven't had one golfer, call me up and say, hey, this doesn't work for me, all right? Which is just totally amazing. I mean, it's like amazing. It's amazing technology. I mean, that it actually works that great for every golfer. I mean, it's one shaft fits everybody. So it's going to help everybody. It's that simple. 70% of your performance of your golf game is the shaft, and it's going to help everybody. It's too bad that this flat shaft couldn't help me with my putting because I'm like the world's worst putter, okay? But, it will help anybody that's striking a golf ball. The flat shaft is the real deal.
Right, and there's nobody that has this technology but you. You're the only person who has this technology. If these other guys could, well, you would see every tour player having this flat shaft, but they can't because you have the patent on it, correct?
That's right. It's available to everybody out there that wants to be a better golfer. I mean, it's that simple. It's as simple as you take your clubs into a pro shop and they can reshaft it. It takes about 5-10 minutes. It's that simple. They can change them out, and we can get rid of the junk shafts that you have in your club. So it's that simple. There's no technology that even comes close to this flat shaft. So the bottom line is this is real.
Well, what these shafts did for my game, it makes golf easy. It really does, because you don't have to worry about spraying the ball. You don't have to worry about the club not performing for you. I reshafted all my woods and hybrids and my driver first, and then eventually my irons. And I should have did my irons faster because it makes it so much easier. Now, what kind of results have you seen with people calling you? You must have seen some amazing success stories when people start using this shaft.
Like I said, the average guy's going to save like 10, 15 strokes. But let me ask you, Anthony, we sent you a set of the iron shafts. Why don't you tell us, what you saw, firsthand? I mean, you're the best testimony of all with this new flat shaft, okay, in the irons. You also have the driver with a flat shaft, but tell me first off, what your reaction was on the iron. What did you feel?
Well, first, when you first swing this, when I was swinging it, in my front yard before I went, it goes faster. It makes a whoosh sound, like you said. So right away, when you're swinging this, it's going to go faster, and faster club head speed means more distance. Second, it just felt more comfortable because I was finally getting the right flex. I got it tested. I spent thousands of dollars, as I'm sure a lot of the other listeners have. They spent thousands going to these video launch monitors trying to find their perfect flex. But really, it was the shaft technology the whole time. When you find a technology like this that's real and actually adjusts to your swing speed, it just feels different. You're going to feel it on your first swing that, this is how my shaft flex is supposed to feel. Then taking it out to the course, I started first with my irons with my driver and hybrid. It goes straight because I never really hit a driver that was didn't have that torque on it, like the regular traditional graphite. It all twists. To really hit a real shaft like this, you feel the difference. The club's straight at impact. Well, your ball's going to go straight, right?
I know that you're fairly strong, Anthony.
Yeah.
I know that you do a lot of bodybuilding and that kind of stuff. From what you tell me, and you can attest to, normally what you do with a round shaft, you'd snap hook it. Okay?
I would snap hook it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would snap hook. That was my miss for driver. I would snap hook it because I guess I would overpower it a little bit on a lot of upper body strength. With this, it doesn't allow that. Even with my strength, the shaft stays straight with my swing speed at impact. So imagine what that will do with a regular swing speed of 100 miles per hour or 70 miles per hour. You're going to be on the fairway every time. So those are my results. And even with the irons, they're just lasers now. So I mean, I can't recommend this high enough. And I know, my friends use this. Everybody wants to use this club, and it just looks better.
Well, the fact is, I know one thing you told me is how high it was kicking the ball, and how much longer it was. So, again, the bottom line is this is the biggest breakthrough in golf technology ever. Okay, golf is built around the shaft, of golf clubs, and there's never been a flat shaft before, ever. There's never been a shaft that allows you to hit the ball 400 yards. This shaft does. And it's real technology. It's the smart shaft. It's got, the aerodynamics that you want, speed in a shaft. It flexes like a slingshot. Let me put it this way. it just feels good. Okay, I mean, it just feels good. I mean, it's the let me sum it up this. Okay, this first flat shaft is the world's longest shaft. It's the fastest shaft. It's the smartest shaft, and it's the straightest shaft ever. All right, and this is a shaft that everybody can have by just reshafting your golf clubs. All right, and changing out this old technology, this zero technology that you paid for. And we're going to give you a good deal on it, and it works. So it's a lot of fun, and you're going to be out there on the tee box with a foursome, and they're going to go, oh my gosh, what the heck is that? The flat shaft. I mean, it's that incredible.
Right,
So,
and if you're listening right now, and your golf clubs have a round shaft install, which is causing you to constantly spray the ball left and right, and you just never keep it in the fairway, you also lose a whole lot of distance. Remember. If you want to add 30 yards to all your golf shots, if you want to cure your slice and keep it in the fairway consistently, if you never want to worry about finding the right flex, but have a smart shaft that adjusts to you, then go to www.flatshaft.com right now. I've used these shafts, my friends, and everybody I know loves them. I highly recommend that you go to the website right now, flatshaft.com, to order a flat shaft for either your driver, your hybrids, or even your irons, or every club in the bag. Thank you, Jack, for everything. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Anthony. And again, what a great name, flatshaft.com. I mean, literally, automatically to change your golf game. It's that simple, and I think you'll love what we have there if you go to flatshaft.com. Thanks so much, Anthony.
Thanks, Jack.